Mercado Airwaves is brought to you by supporters at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, Mike Mercado2333. Get ready, get set for the best movie and pop culture talk in the universe. It's The Good Brothers on Mercado Airwaves with your hosts, Alex Mercado and Mike Mercado.
How's it going, y'all? Mike and Alex back on it after a week off honoring our late great-grandfather, Don Jose. We are back talking Oscars, trailers, and actually a lot, because a lot happened in that week. So it's fun to be back. I'm glad we have a lot to talk about. I think it's fun because me and Mike treat the Oscars almost like a second Super Bowl where we're texting each other, feeling very nervous. For what reason, I have no idea why, because we predicted mostly everything right. And we'll talk about, was it a little too predictable, not too predictable, the Oscars in general, the bets, the hosting. So, yeah, say hi to the folks, Mike.
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us on another episode of The Good Brothers. Good Brother, we didn't get a chance to, but really fast before we dive in, how was Dallas?
Fun, crazy nights, crazy days, long days, but overall good.
And then what did you think? It was a long night on Sunday for the Academy Awards. According to some of the early reports, the ratings were down. But to be fair, 23 million people watched it. So,
and also to be fair, like people don't watch TV as much anymore.
Sure.
So people, yeah. I think that's the biggest thing we don't look at is like, well, yeah, no duh. Every year people are cutting more and more cords. People are doing more viewing parties. So you're not really watching alone. Like it's this different. Like TV's always going to be different. Like
and
we got to get used to that.
You know, like I always feel. And this is about anything. Like you could say this about the NFL draft, anything where there's selections or there's a moment when someone is picked or wins. It's so much different where I could be at the gym not watching the Academy Awards, and then just every 30 seconds I get an update saying the winner for Best Picture is Best Academy Award for Design goes to, and like it comes up. And then if I want to see a funny Jimmy Kimmel skit, or if I want to see something that is highlighted like the This Is Me performance or something, I go on YouTube. An hour after it happens,
literally,
I can watch
you're on
it.
Twitter, and it's already posted.
It's
right
all
up.
posted up right there.
Live on it, just like Thursday Night Football was.
Yep.
That they started giving it on Twitter, so you don't even have to be home. You can just be on your little Twitter feed watching Thursday Night Football, which I thought was very smart. Like,
yeah, I think
that's
so
the smart way to do it. So I don't really viewership that because I think people who watch it really enjoy it. I still think it was a fun Oscars. It was very a lot of drama. No. I think that's the difference. It wasn't a lot like last year at Moonlight La La Land where you really did not know who was going in. I think it was very safe this year. And that's okay to be safe because it was well-deserved. I think everyone deserved their nominations. Yeah. Like, I know we were spending weeks saying, did Logan deserve to be there? I still think no. I still think there was a lot of movies that would take that 10th spot over it, like Florida Project, like Wind River.
No, there's an argument for it. Like, it's in that conversation.
It's in it, but like when you really look at the other movies.
I think it solidifies like a movie like Wonder Woman, who like has a lot of love, and we may love it. And
like, if Logan didn't deserve it,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
but I also like this
shows how tough it is.
We talked about this before we watched all the movies, and you end up catching about half of them.
Yeah.
The ones I didn't catch, Phantom Thread and Lady Bird, I saw the other ones. After watching the other 7, you're like, okay, no, there's a reason these were nominated. Logan wasn't. Like, these movies are masterpieces.
Right. Like and here's the thing too. It's like a lot of these movies, unless you're part of these big corporate sponsored shows, we're an indie show. Like we're independently ran business, so it's hard for us to get our hands on a lot of these screens unless we get them ahead of time.
Oh no, I literally stood up for like 18 hours straight. I watched 4 of the movies straight up.
We had, and like you do your best for all the content that we have to watch and then produce and put up there,
not including sports or wrestling,
exactly.
Or
and
TV.
In busy weeks, we're in WrestleMania weeks. So I think we did a great job, and we actually got a shout out from our friend Kelly on Facebook who gave us props for being pretty damn good on our picks. Like, we were really on it. And like,
we'll address it right now. The only pick that I got wrong there was only 2 that we disagreed with.
And like, I would say one we disagreed with.
And one was Song.
Yeah.
And I even texted Mike before, and I'm like, I want to change it because I know Coco's going to win, but I'm going to ride or die with This Is Me.
And I've been with Coco since November.
I totally believe that Coco was a safer pick because I think This Is Me's better. I think This Is Me performed better. I think This Is Me I think it touched more people.
Yeah.
I think it's more transcendent. I think it'll be remembered more
But
Funny
Coco was
Remember
a
Me.
more beautiful
I
song
think,
for what
well,
the movie
also
was.
like you're giving it to black screenwriter woman, you're giving it to a brown director. You were gonna like again, maybe it was a little too safe. I think
maybe I'm not gonna hate on that.
You know, maybe because last year they went so hot with La La Land with the whitewashing. They're like, you know, maybe we do need to give it to the Spanish oriented song. I still think This Is Me touches more people and is better
I'm not
in
gonna
the
argue
movie. But I'm not going to argue with Coco. Remember Me? I listened to it today and almost cried on a lift ago because that song is very good.
It's great. Yeah, it's
so
great.
you can't really I'm not complaining about that. And then what else did we
disagreed on who's going to win Best Director
because you had the idea going in like that.
They were going to
director,
split.
And I'm like, no, I'm like, they're not doing that anymore. I'm like, this year it's pretty secure. Del Toro's winning it, and Shape of Water's winning it.
And like, here's the thing. this is just my theory. I thought it was a two movie race from beginning to end. A lot of people, for some reason,
2.5.
Three Billboards to Ebbing, Missouri was like a big a lot of people were putting their eggs in that
you didn't
basket.
see it, right?
No, that's one of the three I didn't see.
I told you, I'm like, the script of that movie's not great. It's really not. Like the story,
which I will watch it now.
But man, they act their ass off in that movie. It's
the reason why they clean house.
I'm like,
they clean house.
I'm like, that's how you know acting really could change a movie because the story is not that great. But when you have 4 to 5 amazing actors, all worthy, like you could have nominated Woody Harrelson,
right?
You really could have.
Yeah, absolutely.
You could have nominated. I thought this was funny. The homeboy that was in Get Out, he was the brother. Mm-hmm. Three Billboards, he was the little kid who owned the billboards. Mm-hmm. He was an X-Men, he was Banshee. That's the same guy. So he was in 2 Oscar movies this year.
Wow. Okay. So like, look at the end.
Like he was even great. Like even these minor characters in that movie were great. It's just the story wasn't as good as Get Out or Shape of Water.
Let's do the fact that at least on our show we've been saying it was a two movie race where it was between Get Out and Shape of Water. Now here's what I think. I think Shape of Water over time will be more beloved as a filmmaking movie.
Yes.
I believe Get Out is the more important social movie. Just like they can exist in the same world.
Yeah.
Just because Shape of Water was maybe the better, quote unquote, the movie that was more inducing to win an Oscar because it's more one of those type of films, that's fair enough. That doesn't take away that Get Out is not the most important or second most important movie of that year and what it stood for and what it brought out of cinema and what we think for future movies.
I think that's what it is. Like Get Out was like it led the way for Black Panther. I think it's leading the way for these people. Like we can tell a story and be a blockbuster at the same exact time. And I think that's where we're going with this, and that's why Get Out is going to maybe down the road be more remembered as a movie that revolutionized it. And like Shape of Water is going to go down as one of those type of movies like a Casablanca or which was not necessarily maybe doesn't age the best. Not necessarily when you go back and look at it, be like in 60, 100 years, you'll be like, maybe the story is a little weird, but you're going to respect, like, wow, they went for it, and it works 99.9% of the time. But Get Out, like you said, it's going to be one of those movies that, like, it changes things.
It changes
People
everything.
are going to always look back and be like, that was a blockbuster, quote unquote, in March about social relevance, and it worked.
And I think the biggest difference between Shape of Water and Get Out, why they're important for
One's
different
fun.
reasons. Well, yeah, one is fun, but like I think the big thing is the social commentary on Shape of Water is a little bit more embedded and in the background opposed to Get Out's premise is it. So like Shape of Water dealing with the fact that it's people of all shapes and sizes can fall in love. There's a story.
I agree with you. Like Shape of Water kind of hits you in the head with it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, we're back in the old days where like the American
hit you hard
dream
in the diner.
And here's exactly like no blacks allowed on the seats and this is a gay man
and
this is a mute woman and like Michael Shannon was a great bad guy. He's mistreating women.
Michael Shannon might have low key. A lot of people talk about Patrick Stewart. Michael Shannon not getting some Oscar love is
and it
almost
goes back to
criminal.
argument before about Logan. It's like as much as people love Logan. You look at Michael Shannon, like he should have got a nomination probably, but it's not like he's ever not going to get one.
And here's the thing that kills me about Michael Shannon and the brilliance that is his performance and what Guillermo del Toro did was Michael Shannon was easily the bad guy in this story, but there's glimpses of it of the society he lives in, but he's no worse than like somebody you would think in that age.
He's a creature of his time.
Yeah,
like,
he's a total creature of his
he's
time.
a bad guy at the same time. You're like, well, this is how most men back then thought. It was like,
and we're looking at it as
woman
like
in the
they're
kitchen,
garbage,
and
but
he's just trying to further his career.
we're not that far away from that. Some of us listening to this, that might be their grandfather.
Yeah.
That might be their father. Like that's
exactly.
not too far
Everyone's
removed.
got their old tendencies. So, but he was great about showing like how bad that really could have been back
His
then, like
kids
to an
loved him in that
extreme
movie.
extent.
Right,
you know?
but like think about it. Like they
His
make
kids
a point
love
to
him,
show
his
that
wife
his wife
loves
loves him.
him, like-
that like he's respectful when those kids are driving and they're honking at him. Like he waves them, gives them a happy look at it.
Like he's trying to get the American dream, but at the same time,
You can
he's
tell
nuts. He's insane.
He's insane. There's something behind there because there was this theory of like, and it almost makes you think. This is why I think Shape of Water did win, and it always hits. Just like Get Out will always hit from now on.
Exactly.
Shape of Water just has the elements that will always hit. Women being brought down. Honestly, when he's talking about like, quite frankly, I like it that you don't talk. Even in their sex scene, like putting his hand over his wife's
Like,
mouth.
yeah,
like, there's a
exactly.
creep factor to it. You're like, oh, okay, they
He's a
are
fucked
hitting.
up dude, kind of.
Yeah, so that now the argument for Get Out winning is the fact that it is a director brought out something where it's a horror film, it's a comedy. It seems so much harder to
It's very
put that
real.
together.
It's like how
Yeah.
nowadays are. It's like you got to find humor in all this stuff. But back to Shape of Water, because you texted me last night. I've been thinking about this forever. You texted me like, well, okay, spoiler.
Spoiler
You're
alert.
like,
Okay, I know where
so
you're
she
going.
gets shot, and you're like, does she die? And I had so much to respond to. I'm like, I'm just going to wait till the show tomorrow. And I'm like, the great thing with Guillermo del Toro is it doesn't matter.
You're right.
Because
You're
the ending
100%
is
right.
heavy. Whether you want to believe it or not, you believe her friends believe she lived happily ever after. You see her turn her scars into gills.
Yep.
So she lives happily ever after. It's the same as Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Where it doesn't matter.
I love Pan's Labyrinth.
Like, is that really? Is that real? Is that underworld not true? Is she just dead?
dead, yeah.
It doesn't matter because I think that's his point. His message in all his movies, like, it does not matter because guess what? Whether you want to believe it or not, they're happy.
But it's a fairy tale.
So what is exactly?
The
It's
whole movie's a fairy tale.
So it's a princess story, really. And I think she is so endearing.
Oh my
She's
God,
so
Sally
sweet.
Hawkins in
But
that
she's
movie.
so real. Like they have that one jerk off scene where I'm like, did I see that right? Like she's jerking off in
Yeah,
a tub.
so she's masturbating and like it
'Cause
hits
she's
her right
real.
away.
Like
yeah.
she's just a real person. Like she has needs.
And like the funny thing that is
It's
though, like
hilarious.
the
I was
humor
like,
with
huh.
Octavia and her, it's like, well, where does his thing out? And she like
Oh, yeah.
describes it and like it's just so
First of all, people,
loving.
there is not that much
There
big
is no.
sex in
First
there.
of all, hold on. I'm going to
There's
say
like
two
no
things
penetration
because you
or
talked about
anything.
this. You got a chance to
People
talk about
hyped
this.
it up a lot.
First of all, there is no fish sex scene.
They're hugging. It's
They're
her-
hugging.
Like, dude, do we get a naked shot of her? Yeah, but like,
I was gonna
there's
say,
no. You don't see a monster's like
see-
penis or anything.
You see so much. You even see Michael Shannon ass. Like, you don't see any fish
Yeah.
anything. You see more women nudity in a movie about fishing.
I'll be
about
honest, it was
fish.
very tasteful.
But it was very
Like
tasteful
Guillermo
because
del
it
Toro does
wasn't.
nudity tasteful because it's not like in your face. It's in the background.
Yeah.
it's very
It's part of the
real.
story
It's
'cause
very
it's-
real.
yeah.
It's very like loving. Like they're not doing it. They're making love because they're in love.
Yeah, right.
Because they have that connection.
And then when you're watching Michael Shannon and his wife, it's one of those things where it's like this is
It's
how
out
it
of
was.
need. It's
yeah,
out of need.
It's like a need, and like as much as the wife wants to love him, he wants no part of.
He
like,
really doesn't love her.
He doesn't
that
love
much.
her like
he
that.
Used her
yeah.
like to get kids. He needs a wife because that's what they
so
tell.
it's just
yeah.
so it's a very smart movie. And this is what I'm saying. Like I think this year you have two movies, and like the only time will tell, but like you have two movies that people are gonna dissect forever.
Yep.
Like you got two movies that are so. Guillermo del Toro with that ending makes his movie live on forever because you're like, well, like. Did she? Didn't she? What?
No, she did.
Is he a god? Is he?
He is a guy. He healed them. Of course, he's
I
a
love
god.
that scene though. He's like Michael Shannon comes over. He's like, "You are a fucking god." And
Like,
boom,
yep, he's a god. Yeah.
And Michael Shannon's fingers throughout the movie, just like that storyline of seeing his fingers are his
That
mentality.
and I think they put it there on purpose because they're like, oh, maybe Shannon's gonna. We're gonna talk about Sam Rockwell next. Maybe Shannon's gonna redeem himself. He's gonna. That monster will still heal him. But no, it's real. It's like no. F you, dude. Like, you fucked with me. I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
You shot my girl. Like, there is no forgiveness here. Like, that's what I love about it. Like, it didn't go that road of like, okay, we're gonna end happily. No, it ended like, no, you're a monster. I'm a monster, quote unquote. One of us is gonna kill each other. Like, you literally tased me for fucking hours.
And I just want to say before we go on to Sam Rockwell and we kind of move on to the rest of the Oscars, it was these two movies. I just want to go ahead and I just want to give some love to Guillermo del Toro and what he did for Shape of Water, and then obviously Get Out with
Jordan.
Yeah, with Jordan Peele, and it's just it's a testament to show like you have two spectrums. You have a veteran of the craft who's part of one group, one minority, one subgroup, and then you have the future filmmaker, the guy who's kind of been part of the business, has grinded his way through sketch comedy to becoming a player in the game,
Now
representing his.
I think we got. Let's call it as it is. Like, he just became a player now.
Yeah.
Because for all we know, this could be his one hit wonder.
And if
like,
it is,
I'm not,
way to go out. I'm not
just
mad
saying,
at
like,
you.
I don't think it is, but like, let's be real. I'm not gonna sit here and say this is the next Spielberg Because Spielberg obviously had hit after hit after hit. So I'm excited to see it, but I don't want to be one of those people that goes out and says, he is the future. That doesn't necessarily, Derrick Rose the future too, and look what happened there. He won an MVP, but
and then obviously, you got to think in these times too, you still have, just heavyweights with somebody like Christopher Nolan and like somebody who was in the nominations for everything this year, and nobody mentioned his name. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's how stacked
but
this
that
year
was Dunkirk as a whole movie, because I saw Dunkirk, and it's fine. I like Darkest Hour better. I think what's funny is if you would have just put Darkest Hour and Dunkirk together, you probably could have won everything.
Oh, man.
Had you taken like an hour and a half there, made like a 2 hour, 40-minute spectacle of like, get Gary Oldman.
Well, speaking of that, let's go into it. Gary Oldman and Sam Rockwell. Let's talk about the male, and then we'll lead into like the lady killers. Yeah.
I get to introduce Rockwell first, because I know you haven't seen 3 Billboards yet. Yeah. Rockwell is magical, because he starts the movie as just a racist cop in a Missouri town, and you hate him. You can't recognize him either, because he does a great job putting on the weight for the movie, and he looks like just a slob living with his mother at 40. Like, you're like, wow, this guy is so hateful. Like, throwing people out windows. He got in trouble for torturing black people in the town. Like, he's a terrible person. Like, he's Woody Harrelson's understudy. And obviously, throughout the movie, he makes a change a lot. I don't want to spoil it. Like, a lot happens to him. And you end the movie not necessarily liking him, but you're like, he's real. Because
there's growth.
He makes a complete 180 in the movie.
Sure, interesting.
With Frances McDormand. And it's a great, you don't expect it.
And she kills
the
it,
whole
obviously.
movie, you're like, wow, like, I can't believe I'm actually, like, kind of okay with him now. And, like, he really turned it around because of Woody Harrelson and her. So his performance, well-deserved. Gary Oldman, I think, was the one category that you're like, no, it's Gary Oldman. Like,
this is the only thing that bothered me.
The only one that could have beat him was the kid, and the kid, they weren't going to give it to the kid.
And here's the thing.
That movie was great.
Camulet, I forgot how you pronounce his last name. But,
I have no idea.
But he's going to be a killer, hopefully, for a long time to come.
Like I said, the only reason I didn't give it to him is because it was so close. They're like, let's give it to the old vet instead of the young kid.
Here's the thing that I was talking to you about before we want to get in. You're like, you know what? You have a show. Use it here. You have this Gary Oldman, right? Wins it. Well deserved. Take everything to the side. He deserved it.
Yes.
He deserved it.
He made the movie.
Yes.
The movie is literally him.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really name anyone else in the movie that really does what he does to get a Best Picture nomination.
This is what bothers me about Hollywood, though. It's the selectiveness to it. Gary Oldman and Kobe Bryant win Oscars in this year, and they get standing ovations. And I get it. They earned it. They earned the hardest award too. But it's the selective criticism, though. You have Gary Oldman, who has been known to do and say some of the most gnarliest shit you could think of.
It's Gary Oldman.
It's Gary Oldman. And Kobe Bryant obviously had a rape case. So
but that wasn't proved. I don't like him. I don't like shit out like that.
The facts are that he paid her off, and I love Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest players of all time. And you know what? I'm not. The point is not to demonize
we're gonna
him.
throw shade there.
The shade is this idea of the selectiveness, and this is why I think. While you and I are nerds for this and we love it, and the people listen to it love either supporting us for it or love this type of night.
Are you trying to go to Franco?
It's something like Franco. Just like this idea that we're selecting who gets to go and who doesn't.
I think that one was fresh. The problem with that is fresh. Gary Oldman's shit is more just like he's a weird guy. It's not really like he's doing anything illegal or terrible.
They're giving Polanski a standing ovation.
But like...
I mean, Roman Polanski raped a 13-year-old, and they like Roman Polanski.
But all like you're just.
I know, no, I get it.
The problem is like what you're doing is you're assuming that everything's 100%.
No, you're right. You're right. When I say that, you're right.
We can't do that. Like we're not going to do that on this show.
You're right. You're right. That is a fair point.
Because then we're like literally then like there is no Hollywood anymore.
Right. And I think the biggest thing is it's just that frustration that you can't talk
like
about
with
Franco.
Like it was modern. There's evidence.
Sure. No,
there's tons of evidence. And it's not even that he did anything illegal. It's more he did stuff creepy.
I'm not disputing the whole
because he probably would have got a nomination because that movie got a lot of love until that.
Yeah,
like,
and like it's
a lot. Oh, Disaster Artist.
Right, yeah, Disaster Artist. Yeah. But like this is why this is the only reason I bring it up is just the weird place that it puts people who talk about it because it's like, well. Like where do we have to stand on this? Like can we just give our opinions on these things?
I think we state facts. If
that's
it's not a fact, we can say, hey, rumor and innuendo is this is how he did this with a third. Kobe did this, but facts are facts, and we're gonna go off of facts because that's what everyone wants to do. And as they play out,
so and speaking of that, it's like I thought with Frances McDormand and what she did when she won her award was fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, Frances McDormand's a freaking treasure. That crazy old bride.
And like this is one thing.
She's hilarious. Like that's using your field to like, and that's using your platform. Like they said, like she knew she was going to win. She went up there with this is what I'm going to say, and I loved it. And I thought she hyped me up. I'm not even one. I'm like, yeah, bitch, I got you.
But then when Emma Stone goes out there, and then she's like the 4 men and the one and then Greta Gerwig, who deserved it. But like, it's this idea of like, well, Guillermo del Toro is a Mexican man. Like,
okay, I knew you were gonna bring this up. I get that.
Like that, it's not.
But here's my
shade
point.
on them. It's shade on like. Don't throw shade then on like the other minorities, the other people.
Well,
That
look
are
what
trying
happened
to do
last year.
something.
What was it? Jennifer Garner threw like the when she was around Howard, she threw out the thing, all the 5 all male nominees. Guess what we got this year? 1. So if we get 2 or 3 next
you're
year,
right. It worked.
does that mean
It worked.
Like,
You're right. You know what? Shout out.
Now,
You're right.
does it suck that like there's the problem is we say it all the time. Like Hispanics are so under.
Where are we?
Under. what's
Al
the word I'm thinking
Pacino's
of?
the most famous Hispanic
That's what
on
I'm saying,
cinema. Like, give me
we're
a
so
break.
represented. Like we're
Yeah,
so
we're not represented. Yeah,
that
absolutely
like
not.
it's like hard because like who's gonna really go up there and talk for us? Like Gilmore won, that's great, but like who are we speaking for at this point?
Who's
like,
our Jordan Peele?
Del Toro won like his Oscar.
Right.
Salma Hayek, but she's a Hispanic woman, so she has enough to deal with.
Yeah, right.
So it's kind of hard, and like especially in this country where like especially the Mexican culture is kind of like the punching bag of like. They're not even citizens, so we're not going to worry. Like we have enough problems with our citizens,
exactly.
with black,
and
white,
I get it.
and United
I get
Mexicans,
it.
but
No, I totally get that.
that's what I'm saying. Like I don't mind other people saying it. It always comes down to like I wish we had more representation. But I mean, I'm going back. Coco won twice. Del Toro won twice. What more do you need?
No, you're right. And
Well, they're not like it comes on to a citizen thing, and like that's a whole different conversation. That like it's just. You know what? Right now, women are the ones it's the topic to fight.
And I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at them using the platform. I think it's wonderful. They should.
Oh, I totally agree because I'm like, if we
as a
get 2 or 3
Hispanic
next year,
right.
then we're gonna be like, well, guess
But
Emma
it's
Stone
like,
was right.
Maybe you know what? For me, it's like I would love one day for maybe Guillermo del Toro to go up there and be like the 4 white nominees, including the woman, and the 1 Mexican man. Or the 1 Mexican woman, or the 1 black man, or the 1 black woman, or the 1 lesbian.
Like,
look
at directors this year. Directors, it was a woman, a Mexican, a black guy.
It's wonderful.
So technically, we're the majority. So I think we're there. I think you're fighting an issue that's not an issue yet. Because I think the women is more of an issue right now.
No, that's a totally fair
I think that's more the issue now. Like, I think our time is kind of already is coming and has been here.
But while I say that, a wonderful job by them this year, by the Academy, where they did
they're addressing these.
They addressed them.
Again, they're not just going at Trump. They're not going political. They're going like these are issues with the country.
Jimmy Kimmel went Trump because that's his job for that in his thing.
But like, when I say don't go Trump, I say like don't go like hard with it. I think they did a good job being like, no, we're going to talk about issues. We're going to talk about the actual issue instead of who's causing it. Let's just say this is the issue. It doesn't matter who caused it or what's causing it. This is the issue.
And I just random thoughts when you're thinking about it because we're in that social day and age. But I think the right people won though.
And I think it's funny for best female supporting actress was kind of like the low key just it kind of happened and went because I feel like
what was the Gary Oldman effect?
And it's like it's kind of hard to go after Gary Oldman and McDonough, Frances
McDormand.
Sorry. Yeah. So many names. Like that was the toughest part about the weekend is like learning all the actors' name and actresses in all these movies and the directors,
which is something I'm looking.
So that's hard. But like I feel like it was very hard for Allison Janney to win.
Allison Janney,
like
shout out Allison
I know
Janney.
She was, and like she was like she was probably even more favored than Oldman to win that award.
Oh, that was her.
Like they went in there, okay, who's gonna like Allison Janney, and then who's gonna be standing next to Allison Janney at the end of it all?
Yeah, I totally agree.
And
I totally
agree.
Agree.
I love it because that just means what a great performance.
And like shout out,
she's a reverse Sam Rockwell where she doesn't turn, she's evil.
And I wish Roseanne's sister Jackie, she would have had a better run at it.
Like, what do you like? I feel like the problem with Lady Bird is like. Lady Bird, I love people like Lady Bird again. I love Lady Bird again. I love. I'm like, but look at these other movies. Like Lady Bird doesn't really. I get it's probably amazing, like back in like, one of those comedy movies. It is. No one can say that. Yeah. But I'm like, I have no interest watching because I'm not a teenage girl. So like, it's very hard for me to relate to some of these movies.
You might watch it 15 years from now with your daughters.
Yeah, even Moonlight. Yeah. I told you last year. I'm like, I had to get into it because I'm like, I wasn't born in the ghetto of Miami. I'm not African American. I'm not. My mom's not a crackhead. Like. It's hard. Some of these movies, like
think about 12 Years a Slave. How hard it was.
No, I love that movie.
It's a great movie, but think about how hard it is.
You're just a terrible person.
I love that movie.
Like for me, especially if there's not like an actor I love, like Del Toro, I love. I was gonna watch Shape of Water regardless, or 3 Billboards. I love Woody Harrelson. He's the one that got me into it. And then I stood for everyone else because Woody Harrelson's only.
Oh, it's with me in Dunkirk. It's like, I'm a Nolanite. Like, so
like I'm gonna go watch. I'm gonna watch Darkest Hour. Like, I'm gonna watch all these movies because of that.
And it's funny you mentioned that too. I had a friend of the show, Kelsey. She mentioned to me, and she's like, I have not heard of any of these movies. And I'm like, Well, Kelsey,
Get Out probably.
Well, and that's the point. It's like a lot of people who say, I haven't seen these movies. The next question is, well, how many movies do you watch a year? I'm like, think about how hard you and I are in the pundit business of talking to these things, and it's hard for you and I to watch every one of these movies, then go watch Rampage, go watch Avengers, go watch Jurassic Park, while you're over here watching 3 Billboards and I'm catching up on Shape of Water. Yeah. It's like, it's tough. I get it.
Like I told you, I have the time to stay up from 8 to 8 in the morning watching these movies because I don't have kids. Yeah. My job is different. I don't like, you know what I mean? Like, of course, I have to Kelsey has 2 children. She has a full-time job. Like, we all work, but like, you know, kids is a whole different full-time job, and our hours are different. So, like you said, most people don't see that many movies.
And for us, this is as much as enjoyment it is kind of work. So like, nobody wants to feel like they're working when they're watching movies. So nobody wants to be like, oh my God, I have to watch these 9 movies that I've never heard of.
But it almost becomes that because you're like, I do have to watch these 9 movies. And like you said, no matter what, like Lady Bird, like I might be great, but I have no interest going into it. So it's hard. Like, okay, I have to force myself to watch it.
Which makes the movie better sometimes.
Even though it's like, well, yeah, you have to force yourself to watch a great movie, Alex. You're probably going to love it. Yeah, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Poor you. Yeah. But at the same time, you're like, you know, it's still, you got to go into it. Because like, but the last movie I saw was Darkest Hour. I'm like, man, this is going to be kind of boring. Like, I get it. Like, I've heard it. And the acting's so good. You're like, so man, like, he got me into it. Like, that speech at the end where he just, like, when he's yelling at people, like, I'm in this chair and I won't let Nazi flags hang. You're like, damn, he hyped me up. Like, I know how this ends, and I'm nervous. I'm like, oh, my God, are they going to get out of there? I'm like, Alex, you know how Dunkirk ends.
Dunkirk works.
You know he calls. You know that Hitler doesn't win. But I'm like, but they make me feel like they might surrender to Hitler.
Because we have the benefit of history, but like this idea that like, oh my God, this could have ended so badly at any time, like at any moment.
Like,
the
wow,
history
like
changes.
Literally, Britain could have fallen to Hitler.
So a great.
They
movie
were in
there.
talks. Like, you're like, holy shit! Like, they thought about it.
So all in all, though, I really enjoyed the Academy Awards. I'm trying to think if we've missed anybody.
Directors. No, I think we talked about all the main movies and everything.
Frances McDormand again winning Best Actress, had the amazing award. And then again, just really fast, I feel even though you thought it was the show bet, but I really thought This Is Me had just as great of a chance as Coke Remember Me. I thought it was between those 2 movies.
I thought it was between those 2. I knew Coco was going to win because of the way the night was
This
going.
Is Me had a better performance though.
This Is Me is a better song, honestly. This Is Me is a better song. It's more.
But I think Remember Me is more of a better.
Remember Me's from a better movie. If This Is Me had been just a little bit better,
sure, maybe.
I think This Is Me wins. I think it comes down to, well, which movie was a little better? Well, obviously, Coco got one Best Movie for its thing, which people talk about. It could have got nominated for one of the 10.
It might have been number 10. It could have been.
I don't think it should have, but like,
but it's in that conversation.
I don't think any animated movie should.
Maybe Driver.
I think maybe out of like all the animated movies we've ever had, maybe like 5 were that good. We're like, man, no, that goes to time.
Mercado Airwaves is brought to you by supporters at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, Mike Mercado2333.
I don't think Coco's one of them. I think Coco's just a very...
Well, Up, WALL-E, for sure.
I don't think WALL-E. I think Up is one.
Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3 is one.
How to Train Your Dragon.
The original. Maybe the original Shrek.
Maybe the original Shrek.
I think the original Shrek just because what it did. Like, and then I'm saying, like, we're struggling. Like, obviously, no, not Finding Nemo's. Not your...
Finding Nemo,
are great, but I
could argue with somebody about Finding Nemo.
No, I don't think they revolutionized. Like obviously what the other ones do, but like obviously that's why they have a separate category.
Incredibles? Incredibles is close. That's as close as you get without getting into it.
But if a superhero movie's not getting in, Mike,
you're right.
An animated
You're right.
come
you're
on,
totally right.
Like maybe WALL-E. I'll give you WALL-E.
We'll see what Incredibles 2 does this year.
I don't got a good feel. I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it lives up to the hype. I think if Incredibles is at 100. Incredibles 2 is gonna be 99.
Ooh,
and it's just because
so
you know what? It's been a long time. It's just that's not bad. Just like I said the thing about Avengers. I'm like, I don't think Avengers is going to live up to that unnecessary hype, but I don't need it to because, like, nothing's ever going to live up to the hype you can. That's just life. You're going to hype things up way too much. I am. Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. Like, Marvel decided to change the movie going game again. So
They said, "Give me another birthday present."
our entire show is useless. I won't even be here for that for Avengers. I'm going to be in Florida. I have to watch it in Florida.
Oh,
I'd
really?
rather because I'm tired of watching movies with you guys. Honestly,
Oh, okay.
I think
That's
Nicole talks too much during them.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay,
Problem is
definitely
I
is
gotta watch
in
with Cisco
Francisco.
still, and he
Yeah.
talks the most.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of questions.
So for anybody that doesn't know, Avengers moved from the week of May 5th, right? No, May
5th.
Yeah, no, that's Cinco de Mayo. I think it was the week after
That weekend.
So yeah, May 5th. Yeah, into,
May 3rd or something.
April 27th.
So
which
I
is a
think May
Friday, my
3rd. I think
birthday.
that. Yeah, I think it was May 3rd.
So the talk is this. There's two rumors that happen when this happens. The one is that they believe in it so much that they want it to be worldwide, so everybody talks about it at the same time. The second rumor is they don't want negative press for a week. But I think it doesn't matter. Like, negative press doesn't take away from this movie. This movie's going to make
I think here's
bajillions.
because you got to think, like, Disney. Here's the thing with Disney right now. So they got the big hit from Black Panther.
A huge.
Wrinkle in Time was Disney, right? Correct? Wrinkle in Time is Disney?
I believe so. Yes.
And that's getting killed in the reviews. That's
sucked.
getting destroyed.
It's so
but
unfortunate.
We all saw it coming. It did not. Who wanted Wrinkle in Time? Like, same as Tomorrowland.
I like Ava
hey, it
DuVernay,
looks
though.
beautiful. It's directed fine, but no one wanted the story.
Sure.
So I'm sorry.
not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. I wish it would have been successful.
I kind of am because it kind of throws it back notch. We're like, oh, poor Ava DuVernay. Like, no matter how good you say, oh,
Come
she
to Star
directed
Wars.
it great. What?
It's time for her to come to Star Wars.
Yeah, because this is why. But why? Like, I don't get it. Why would Disney give her another big blockbuster when this one didn't work out so well?
Well, it's the source material too, though.
Like, it sucks that it's kind of like an injury where like she's kind of got to go back a little bit.
Very interesting
and
you feel about
reprove
this
it.
way about Ava DuVernay, though.
Because I love Ava DuVernay.
I know you do. That's why
But at the
I'm
end of the
very
day,
surprised.
I want to treat her like I would treat any man.
I
No,
agree.
that's a bomb. So
but
like,
you're gonna,
you got to earn it back for me. Like, I'm not.
Interesting.
It's not like, hey, you bombed, but you're a woman director, so let's give you another good movie. No, like, I agree. Like, it shouldn't happen with men either. And lately, it really doesn't. But except for like, terrible movies anyway. But like, this movie looked bad from the beginning.
Very interesting.
I don't think it was a story anyone needed. I'm not surprised. But like, obviously, The Rock threw his movie backwards too.
Rampage
so
goes
now
back
it's
a
changing.
week.
Like, people were deciding, like, hey, we're just going to change the release dates. You're like, wait, can they do that?
Yeah, right.
Like, I thought this whole time it was
Right.
really you could just do because I love how Avengers happened where you're just on Twitter. You didn't even believe me at first. I'm like, no, dude, it's real. Yeah. Like Tony, Robert Downey Jr. went on Twitter said he wanted to release the week early, and they said yeah, and boom, it's released early.
It was a great thing.
And
you're
then like, no, they're not.
The Rock's
liar.
response was great too.
You called me fake news. I was like, oh,
I thought it was total fake. Because here's the thing.
I was like, official Marvel Twitter
settled on that week. Like, they were settled
it's been settled for what, like 2-3 years?
We were like, oh, okay, they're going to be
crazy.
right around the.
And they didn't move solo. You're like, why did you move solo to December? You're like, they weren't moving movies. So I was like, okay, well, I guess we're just not moving it.
Do you think there's anything happening?
I think Solo's getting good hype where they're like, let's give Solo more time to breathe.
Interesting.
We might as well put Avengers out a week early because what are we going to go against? It doesn't matter. We run it.
Rampage didn't matter. Nothing mattered, dude.
And The Rock was smart. He's like, okay, we're going to push ours back a week so now we get 2 weeks.
Because what's going to bother Rampage?
Because that's fine because Rampage is going to make its money now because at least it's going to get 2 big weeks and then you're good. So like that's fine. So like The Rock is smart. The Rock's so clever. He's even calling it out. He's like,
he did straight up. Yeah. He's like, and then show the wiki face. It was amazing. It's one of the best tweets ever.
So I'm gonna do it a week early so we can make our money. Like he's honest about it, and you gotta respect that. Like, oh, he's just honest about it.
Now, are you?
Which I'm pumped for because I'm not gonna watch Rampage early.
Yes.
I hear, want to hear. Hot take again. Ready Player One's gonna bomb too.
I agree with that, but I don't think it's gonna be quality of film. I just think it's gonna bomb.
I think it's gonna be quality film. Ooh. I think it's gonna be a reverse Wrinkle in Time where like the idea is great, it just wasn't put together great. 'Cause I don't think it should have been Spielberg.
Man, like that's the thing though.
Remember Spielberg? Like you should have given it to a young guy who did remember Spielberg instead of
and
just
make a Spielberg thing.
Because again, let's go back to Oscars. I didn't love the post.
I didn't love the post. It's so funny you and I talk about because
it could have been great.
We're obsessed with like All the President's Men.
Yeah,
we're obsessed with
that's right up our
Spotlight.
alley.
Like we love these movies.
Journalism.
And this movie, like the first 20 minutes, I'm like, okay, like the way they get everything.
And I love the ending where like the room. I'm like, oh.
But then when it all kind of when you put it,
I kind of like
together.
I like the first 20. I like the last 40 where they're like, when they get the papers. I love all things from there in court and Meryl Streep.
Yes,
but there's like an hour in the middle that's just so useless.
Meryl Streep kind of carries the film.
She at the end, but I don't like her in the beginning.
But
I thought Tom Hanks was great.
Tom Hanks, but
I thought Odenkirk was great. I thought Little Boy from Friday Night Lights and Breaking Bad was good. The lawyer, all the acting was superb. I think Spielberg's kind of lost the stuff.
But would you say that about Scorsese, who finished up Wolf of Wall Street? It's like
because Silence was good. It it wasn't marketed right. It was just a bad time to come out. Because Silence
But
was
Post
great.
was good enough, and then
Silence
you have
was
what was
great.
what was
Like,
the Bridge of
that's what I'm
Spies?
saying.
So he's had two
But again,
back
look
to
at
back
Bridge of
nominated
Spies.
movies.
Those movies are known for their acting, but they're also known for like, oh, the stories are kind of weak.
Like I get it, and like both have the equivalent of like
BFG?
Tom Hanks and like BFG was like it wasn't beloved,
But
it was like
that's what I'm saying. Like, can we really name like the last hit Spielberg's had hit was
War-
Lincoln, and that was a
Lincoln. I mean,
and that
Lincoln.
was a pure documentary.
I think the last
Like that's like I'm not gonna say it's easy to direct,
last-
but like that's
blockbuster Spielberg cast was War of the Worlds.
yeah. Like I'm just saying, like Spielberg's always gonna go down in history, but like call a spade a spade. You know, like maybe it is time for some fresh blood.
So any other thoughts though about this about the move? What do you think about just really fast? Like, do you any other like maybe rumor and innuendo?
I just think it's because Solo's gonna do well, so now they have more time to make money. I also think like anything you can get close to Black Panther, you're gonna get like look at the marketing. Like they're marketing toward Black Panther. Like and that's smart because
you and I have been calling that forever. Yeah, we knew that was gonna happen as soon as Black Panther came
and
out.
I think they knew it too. Cause I don't think this is new. I think they're like, no, Black Panther's gonna be that
like
good.
they
We
knew
know it.
they were like, oh, because remember, and it was funny. The first thing you and I said when we came for the Avengers review was, "Hey, now go back and watch the Infinity War trailer." What so happens to be the most spotlighted thing, and they did that 2 months before the movie came out. Like they were just like, "Oh yeah, no, you guys are gonna love this. Enjoy
See
it."
that Chadwick Boseman thanked Denzel?
No, when did
Because
this
apparently Denzel paid for Chadwick Boseman's acting school.
happen? Yeah, okay. Denzel's forever.
But Denzel's
Yeah, Denzel's
like,
forever.
We love
like,
Denzel.
beloved,
Denzel
yes.
got a nom, and people
For
were
doing
talking
nothing.
about, and like,
Denzel showed up and got a
and
nod.
people were like, and I've seen people say like, no, guys, like the movies, he's great in the movie. Like he deserves.
Esquire, I forgot what. But the bottom line is because Denzel is Denzel.
He's a fan.
Here, this is the one thing I always say about Denzel. Anybody who ever says he plays the same character, that's not true. What it is, Denzel charms you with every character the same way Denzel
he's
does.
Meryl Streep. He's literally him and Meryl Streep are, to my opinion, because I think Denzel's better than Daniel Day-Lewis for pure fact. I'm like range. You gotta have range. Like I love Daniel Day-Lewis, but like it must be. It's like a baseball player. You go out there 5 times, you hit 5 balls. That's great. But I'm gonna take the player that goes out there 100 times that probably hit 75 balls. Aren't you? Like I'm gonna give credit where credit is due. But like Daniel Day-Lewis are great DH.
No, I'm with you. There's two different animals.
Chris Bryan, though, he's the guy.
It's two different animals. You're talking about,
and like, well, look at Oscar for Oscar. Denzel got his 2, so it's not like he's back on the Oscars. Like, I think people need to give Denzel a little more. He's the Meryl Streep of men.
I'm not mad.
Not Daniel Day-Lewis.
I'm not mad at the love that. What I think it is too is the movies Denzel is,
and he can sell tickets.
No,
too.
of course, that's the biggest difference. The biggest difference is one sells tickets, but I think the movies are a little bit different. Like Daniel Day-Lewis always has great movies.
One Sherman.
Like his movies,
but again, it's not hard when your whole.
I don't disagree with that concept.
Like Quentin only has great movies.
He makes 8. He's only made 8. Yeah, so like
I would hope if he had 2 bad ones, I'd be like, well, that's not very good. If you have 2 bad ones,
well, the Hateful Eight was kind of like the worst one that he's made in a long time,
and that was fantastic.
Yeah. But like this, I'm not mad at that idea of like Denzel takes 100 shots while Daniel Day-Lewis takes 10, and just because
saying, like, I love Daniel Day-Lewis too. Like Bill the Butcher's one of my favorite characters ever.
Gangs of New York, yeah.
You know, like I love those movies, but I'm just saying, like, he gets a lot of extra credit.
It's just great. So, any last thoughts about that?
About
the move? About that range. About you were mentioning Chadwick Boseman getting paid.
That was just kind of cool. I thought for the Oscars,
and like we saw a lot of Black Panther love at the Academy Awards, which was kind of cool.
Of course you did. Like it's the hot thing right now. Like, and people are watching now. Like I have so many people going like, "Oh, I just saw Black Panther." I was like, "So 2 weeks ago." I'm like, really?
That's so funny though. Like how much how it just took over the world. And then
we got some trailers.
Yeah, let's get into.
I guess we get more than 2. I feel like we got 2 good ones.
Let's talk about the 2 big ones that everybody's.
And
talking
then if we
about.
remember another one, we'll mention it. Mary Poppins. We both saw it in music class when we were younger.
Yeah,
I love a very girly movie with the way it looked, but it's actually a very good movie. I like it. I like it a lot. I don't think it ages necessarily well. I think if you didn't grow, I think both these movies with that and Pooh Bear is like if you didn't grow up with it, if you didn't have some connection to it, this doesn't hit you. Like Mary Poppins doesn't hit me. Pooh hits us because all of our little cousins had so much Pooh Bear stuff and just that was around our age. Like yeah,
but it look at Mary Poppins may be it's a classic movie. The problem is though it's a classic movie. Winnie the Pooh is a generational Mickey Mouse character. This thing has been part of
and it's
people's
an
childhoods
adult Christopher Robin. You're like, okay, so when I was a kid, Christopher Robin was a kid. Well, now I'm an adult in the real world. Christopher Robin's in the real world.
This is going to be forever.
And here comes little Pooh Bear, and like you're like, how are they going to do this? Like, is this going to be corny or is it going to be a Smurfs?
In a world with Paddington.
Or is it going to, it doesn't look like a Smurfs, but it could be.
Yeah, but in a world of Garfield, or
like,
you could
I cannot wait to see Piglet and Tigger and
absolutely.
Eeyore. I'm
If
so
we
excited.
see them, I hope we do. But here's the thing.
They are with the voice actors.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It could be two things. It's only two options, Alex. It could be Smurfs, Garfield, or it could be Paddington.
And the way it looks, the way, I mean, Evel McGregor, like, it's probably going to be Paddington. It's probably going to be gorgeous.
It almost has to be.
It's probably going to be fantastic. You're probably going to cry a lot. They have all the original voice actors. Like, they have Roo, Kenga. They have everyone
amazing.
back.
So
like,
amazing.
I'm so excited. Like, I never thought I'd get so excited. And I'm sitting there getting emotional to like little Pooh Bear, like Christopher Robin.
Christopher Robin.
Aw.
Yeah. But everybody was waiting for that, though. Everybody was waiting for that.
I didn't think you know what? That's how you do a good trailer.
Yeah.
Because
you
you
lead up.
And I'm like, I know people are like, oh, I don't want to see it. I do want to see it. I'm like, no, they showed you just enough Pooh Bear. They didn't show you Tigger. They didn't show you Piglet. They didn't show you the Honey Acre Woods. Like, they just showed you. And I thought Mary Poppins did a good trailer, too, of, like, the little wink in the mirror and, like, she's back. Because, like I said, maybe I'm not excited about it because just, like,
there's a different excitement for
Mary Poppins wasn't, like, big to me, but I know it was a great
one is
movie.
more culturally relevant. One is as if Mickey
and
Mouse.
Emily Blunt is great, yeah.
Yeah, I love Emily Blunt. But think about this. This would be the equivalent of we got an original movie about Mickey Mouse. Just like Mickey Mouse showed up on screen.
We will one day.
I think,
I don't
know if the world's ready for that.
Weddy.
I don't think the world's ready though for a Mickey Mouse movie like that.
We'll see.
What else though? We really didn't. I guess Solo's really starting to make its push now. Like that's something we're seeing.
Coming out? Like, we had Wrinkle in Time coming out. It's gonna bomb.
Yeah, and then Ready Player One is coming out later on this month.
We'll see how that
March.
does. Oh my god! Obviously, I've all like talking about the change. Poor Pacific Rim because it is gonna get so lost in it. It probably costs so much to make. Poor John Boyega.
I was going to say, the problem is John Boyega, man. I think
he's going to... Is he going to be the next Charlie Hunnam?
Well, I'm going to tell you something right now, Alex. As I look back and as time is moving forward and we're starting to see these movies come out, he's probably the weak link of the movies to begin with. Like, John Boyega is not the strong point of... It's obviously Daisy Ridley and it's obviously Oscar Isaac. Like, they're the strong points.
I don't even go that hard. Like, I think...
I'm not going hard on it.
I think the problem is like, Force Awakens was so... Like, Star Wars fever hit so hard that, like, looking back at it a few years later, now you're kind of, like, coming off that hangover. You're like, okay, Daisy, like, no offense, like, out of all those guys, even, there's only two good actors in that whole thing.
Oscar Isaac's the strong point.
Oscar Isaac, because Daisy Ridley,
But that's what I was going to say.
Oriental Express wasn't good.
But what I'm saying is the difference of John Boyega took a shot. John Boyega's taking a shot, though. I'm not mad at him.
Homeboy, Adam Driver's probably the best one.
I still would go Oscar Isaac, but I definitely think Adam Driver.
They're there. Like,
asking me to
the other two, I'm like, John Boyega and Daisy Ridley could easily be forgotten. Like, let's not forget, like, Mark Hamill. We all love Mark Hamill,
Carrie
but
Fisher,
Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher didn't have fantastic movie
not
careers.
Harrison Ford careers, but here's the thing.
They're not. There's always the Harrison Ford.
Well, let's go ahead and do this then. Since somehow we got down this road. If you're Oscar Isaac or you're Adam Driver, which one wins an Academy Award first?
Adam Driver.
Interesting.
Adam Driver's a better actor. Adam Driver's fantastic.
But I think
Adam Driver's almost got nominated like 3 years in a row.
But I think Oscar Isaac has he could play more roles than
I think if Oscar Isaac was going to win before him, he needed to start making bigger roles lately, like get nominated more. Because I think at this point, you're going to see Adam Driver nominated.
Who wins an Academy Award first, Oscar Isaac or Diego Luna?
Oscar Isaac.
Okay.
But it all depends on role, because Diego Luna could get one good Hispanic role and like.
So I'm saying, but that's the same thing with Oscar Isaac. It's like unlike Adam
Oscar
Driver.
Isaac is gone for it and necessarily like not hit. Like Ex Machina was fine.
Ex Machina was pretty damn close to getting all the love.
He's fine. I think I prefer Diego Luna personally. I think it's Adam Driver. I love Adam Driver.
I love Adam Driver.
There's just something about Adam Driver where you're like, man, he's good.
Oh, Adam Driver is like
he's
right
like a
there.
good player. You're like, he's just so good at what he does.
He is literally on the cusp of becoming the star of.
I think he is the best actor. Sorry, but like I said, it's between him and Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
I think if you're gonna give shit to Boyega, give shit
I
to
don't want
Ridley.
I don't want it to say.
I'm just saying, like you said, like. But, like, to be fair, we haven't seen Pacific Rim.
No,
because they could turn out to be good and just not make money.
Yeah.
Daisy Ridley's proven,
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying with Daisy Ridley, what bothers me, I'm like, she's cute, she's adorable, and, like, she's great in Star Wars.
But is Daisy really selling Star Wars? Or is Star Wars selling Star Wars?
I think Daisy really helps Star Wars to little girls.
At this point, At this point. But, like, it's this idea of John Boyega.
But I don't necessarily think, like, is she a great actress? We don't really know.
But is John Boyega... that's what I'm saying about the weak link, though. It's like John Boyega is lovable in Star Wars, but if John Boyega had died in Last Jedi...
Yeah. Well, I mean, his Netflix movie was great, where he's a father in the streets. Like that was great, but it's a Netflix movie. Like I'm not gonna down it, but it's not gonna get the attention like Oriental Express got.
Who wins? Okay, since we're doing the minority pick 'em, Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, or John Boyega. Who wins?
Chadwick, because Chadwick's played those like. Michael B. Jordan's like Will Smith right now. We're like he's gonna start entering his next stage, but he's like Will Smith when he made Men in Black and all those great like Independence Day. Like he's in that age where like he's a star. He's becoming a Hollywood star.
Sure.
He hasn't made like Fruitvale Station was it?
That's what.
But it was it's a little smaller.
Creed got very close. Like,
but he didn't. The movie did.
But
I don't think because Sylvester
maybe
Stallone
Sly was so strong in it. Though,
he almost won. He almost won the movie.
Yeah.
But I think it's Chadwick Boseman because Chadwick Boseman has done these documentary
42, and then he's
he played what's this guy's oh my God, what's
he played
the singer James Brown.
James Brown, yeah.
It's like he's done these roles, or like
Jackie Robinson and James Brown, for God's sakes.
Done I think that's a problem because the movies weren't necessarily good.
42 was good, and Jackie Robinson and Get On Up was pretty good.
Like 3 hours long. That's the problem.
Yeah,
and it wasn't Showgirls. So
right. Like and then
I mean, look, Eddie Murphy got an Oscar. So like, I think Chadwick Boseman gets it first. I think Michael B. Jordan's a future Oscar winner.
I told you this the day we came out of and recorded about Black Panther. Black Panther will be one of the 9. One of the 10, I should say.
I'm not going to say one of the 10 right now. The only thing I can say for sure, it's going to get a music nod for one of the songs.
Okay.
And soundtrack. So those two, like not only song but soundtrack. It's going to win costume design. It's going to win.
For what we know right now. Yeah.
Done. Like unless something comes out that's just random. That's why I'm not going to pick movie because I did that last year with Logan.
I think this might be we watched James Mangold.
So we can get 10 great movies. We're like, just in October where you're like, okay, you know what? Sorry, Black Panther.
What I'm going to say is Black Panther is what Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and Return of the King were. This is going to be the movie. It may not win all of them. It might not win any of them. It's going to get like 7 nominations.
Possibly.
I think so.
Like, I don't think it's Return of the King good.
No, I don't think it's going to get 12 and win them all.
Because I've been looking back at Black Panther now that everyone started to see it. I'm like, my score doesn't necessarily go down, but now you can think about kind of issues with the movie.
This is what I think is going to happen.
Okay, yeah, I kind of see that issue.
I think the main out of the main like 5, I think you could do. You're going to get the 2 music ones you're going to get nominated for. I think you can make an argument that Michael B. Jordan will get a Best Supporting.
No, I don't think so.
I think you could get an argument of Best Film.
If Patrick Stewart didn't get one, I don't think it's happening.
I think...
The problem is 5 is hard. That's why
I agree. But that's why I'm saying it right now.
It's like only 5. Like you get 10.
That's why I think the 10 one.
I
think that's why it's safe to say they've already reserved a spot for Black Panther as one of the 10.
I don't think so.
I think it's safe.
Like again, Mike, the movies we saw turned out to be all fantastic. Like we were,
I would say,
and they all came out. Okay,
I would argue.
And later.
It's funny you say that. I would argue,
that.
unless the 10 coming out this year are better than the 9 that came out this year. Black Panther was better than Dunkirk. Black Panther was better than Darkest Hour. So right away it was better. I think so. I think it's not even close to. I think if Darkest Hour, if somebody else was playing Winston Churchill, the movie would have.
Someone else wasn't playing Winston Churchill.
But the point is, those the variables. That's what I'm saying.
But that is variable. So
you have to tell
Gary Oldman's performance is better than anything in Black Panther.
I totally agree.
So
but we're talking about out of 10 positions. And I already can name on one of the most stacked years that it was better personally.
Because you can. I don't really see a lot of people saying that, honestly. I don't think people would think Black Panther's better than Dunkirk or Darkest Hour or Lady Bird or Three Billboards.
Now you're getting to a different level.
I'm just saying, like.
If you do you want to.
Call it right
now. Call it now. Is Black Panther one of the 10?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm going with this. That's the show better.
Because again, like when you look back at the movie, you watch it again, like. There is a couple parts of the movie where like it kind of drags.
Same thing with Get Out. Same thing with all these movies.
No, Get Out wasn't good. Get Out was good.
They all.
Like I'm talking about like a good like we're not talking about 10 minutes. We're talking about like there's probably like 30 or 40 minutes where you're like, okay, this is Marvel still. Like this is still a Marvel movie, and Marvel hasn't hit that moment of like.
I don't think so. I think it's a 60%.
And I think it's very fresh because it's fresh. It's the latest movie we saw in the theater. To say Michael B. Jordan's get one, I'm like. 5 nominations?
But like you can make the argument
5?
But the fact is you can make the argument that
oh no, make your argument all you want. It's wrong to make your argument all you want.
I think it's
like I don't think Black Panther's better than any movie that came out than any of the 10 nominations that came out this year.
The 9 nominations. I think it's better.
The 9, yeah.
I think for sure
is it better than Logan? Do you like Black Panther better than Logan?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I love Logan.
And I love Logan. I love Logan.
Like Black Panther was more fun, but I thought Logan was probably a better movie.
But I think Black Panther just has
as a movie like obviously, Black Panther's charming and the acting's amazing and the visuals are amazing, but story is not perfect.
If you want to make an argument as to why Black Panther can't won't be nominated, it is two movies you can make the argument for me, is Logan and Jungle Book. If you could tell me that those two movies didn't get nominated, then I could be...
And they didn't get nominated.
I could be like, sure, Black Panther may get screwed, but the variable of how strong will this year be? Of course, we don't know what's going to happen in November, October, December, but as of right now, as of this moment, it's somebody needs to take them off. It's not a they're on it right now. You have to take them off.
Yeah, but
that's
there's
important.
no one else is next to them at the moment.
But that's important.
That's fine.
You can't help who you played.
I'm not saying that. But you haven't played the game yet. You haven't played
the game.
You were just
you were dominating.
You were the first one in the stadium,
and you're dominating.
But there's no one else playing yet.
But
not one person
is catch up.
Not one Okay, but like you can't play catch up if you're not there yet. Like the race hasn't even started. Like the racers all having like Black Panther.
Came out earlier than Black Panther. The race has started, Alex.
And it didn't even start getting love until the other movies started like Wind River. And they're like, okay, it's better than Wind River. Okay, it's better than Phantom Thread.
As of right now, since the day Black Panther came out,
they were the first. They were the first. Yeah, they were the first in the race.
And you're right.
Race hasn't started yet because you haven't had one other movie that came out. They're like, this could be critically acclaimed.
I'm not.
What if Avengers Infinity War comes out and it's better?
Oh, then guess what? Then Avengers is on the list. It doesn't. You could be as condescending as you want about it. The fact is,
it's very hard to say when someone's winning a race.
It doesn't matter
when there's
no
one else racing.
It doesn't matter when it is. You play your schedule. You play who you're up against.
But they're not playing anyone yet. It's not like we're in June and we're like, okay, halfway. You know what? Wait till halfway through the year.
Because the sport calls for you could only play for when your release date is. And as of the release of Black Panther, they're on the list.
How are you playing when there's no one else playing? So like,
because nobody else is until somebody else takes them off.
That's what I'm saying. So like, the game doesn't really start till June when you can start saying, okay, we're halfway through the year. Who's the early Oscar contenders? Black Panther. And then we'll see who else comes out by then. But like, there's no one. Like, how does the game start? Like, if we're playing a game, you and me, and I show up and you haven't gotten there till 2 months later, can I play the game by myself?
I think you're using a different analogy.
What
I'm
saying
is,
you're
talking about playing defense. What I'm talking about is
that's part of the game.
What I'm talking about is you could play defense in movies, and the way Academy Awards works. My movie came out. Now for the rest of the year moving forward, you have to make a better movie than I did.
That's fine. As of right now, there's no number one. You're right there.
As of right now, they're on the list. If whatever fictional list is, they're on.
That's fine.
And until 10 other movies come out and are better than it, it's on the list. Period.
Oh no, but no one's arguing that. But like, it's not in competition yet. It's just it was the first one there. It's the first one to the party.
But we haven't seen every movie that's been released in 2018, so we don't know
anything good. We have.
That's not true. We had no idea what 3 Billboards were until it came out.
That's what I'm saying. You said this year in the 3 months. We've seen everything good this year.
As of the 3 months, we've seen the best movie.
But you just made my argument for me is like going into this year of the 9 best movies. We didn't even hear about half of them till what, June, July with Dunkirk, and then it started being like, okay, Get Out, Dunkirk. Okay, what's next? Darkest Hour. What's next?
Not necessarily true because people were talking about Logan. People were talking about Baby Driver. People were talking about
when did those come out? So when
in the early part of the year.
Okay, but that's what I said.
So it's
after
part of the
Get
list.
Out. But that's part
and
of
we're in March already, and it's only Black Panther.
So what's part of Black Panther's list?
That's it.
But like you just said, Baby Driver, Logan, Dunkirk, you had a basis to go.
You're making the point of my argument where it's all about what the field is. The field right now is not as heavy as it was last year.
There's no field. No, because last year at this point there was Get Out, Logan, so only 2.
And Baby Driver.
Baby Driver didn't come out till months later.
Baby Driver came out in the first 3 months of the year.
Check it. Baby Driver was a summer movie, Mike. I think that's going to change the argument because, yeah, you're right. Get Out, Logan last year. Black Panther right now. That's it. There was nothing even close coming out yet.
Yeah, it was a summer movie.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're arguing for that, but like, yeah, the only difference between this and last year is 2 movies. Logan, Get Out, this year Black Panther. And that is it right now. So it is way too early to say.
No, I don't think so. I think so.
Like I said, you just kind of got caught there.
Well, because Baby Driver came out in June.
Had Baby Driver come out in March, 3 movies, that's a decent competition. You're talking about 2 movies last year now, Logan and Get Out. 2 over 1, like, is it really that big of a difference? And like I said, realistically, what's the next big movie to come out now? Avengers? And then do you really think they're going to put Avengers and Black Panther together? So only one of those gets in. So you're going to ride with one movie for the first third of the year. And like you even said, all 9 of those movies didn't even come out till June, July with Dunkirk and Get Out. Besides Get Out. So out of the 8 movies, 8 out of 9 came out halfway through the year and later. So I'm just saying, it's on the list. It's the one to beat.
In January, you had Split. You had people talking about.
But Split wasn't.
Okay, hold on. No.
So
you had Split.
It wasn't a great movie.
Then you get on, and then we have left.
Get Out was February, and Logan was March.
So then in the end of February, you had Get Out.
So you had Get Out 1.
No, we were talking about when things started. So Split started off. We were talking about.
But we're talking about best movie right now. We're not talking about this. We're talking about best movie. Split was never a contender for best movie.
Then Logan comes out in March.
Okay, so two. So
2
at this
weeks
point last
after,
year, you had 2 movies compared to 1 Black Panther, and we're almost March. Nothing else is coming out besides Pacific Rim or Ready Player One.
Beauty and the Beast came out in.
Did it get nominated for best movie?
No, neither did the other 2 movies we're talking about. Beauty and the Beast came out though. Everybody like that movie was on the list. Like we're talking about movies that as of that time were on the list.
Okay, that's fine. But what did we get this year? We're talking about this year. We got what? Wrinkle in Time, Bust. Pacific Rim.
Okay, so take that thought.
You're talking about this year though. Like last year, you're
in
right.
that thought,
last year the race started earlier. This year there's no race because it's only Black Panther.
No, so then what you're talking about is sure the movies that we would consider to be Academy Award have not come out left. What I'm saying is, as of this time,
there's one movie.
There's only one movie.
That's fine. And there's no competition though.
But that's not the point I'm talking about. What I'm saying is, until that competition comes along, it may not be till October.
I agree.
So unless 10 movies come out,
that's fine.
At that point,
no one's denying you that. But the way you said it is like it's like people got to pass it. No, people don't got to pass it. People got to come out first. So and then you can compare it.
So if you've stuck with us in this argument, basically what I'm saying is,
good argument.
Sure. As of this point, as of the day we're recording in March 7th,
Black Panther's the lead.
Is the lead,
but it's
to be
also
top
the
10.
only movie.
But it's the only movie. And if for some reason, let's say Ready Player One, just because I'm naming something off the top of my head, becomes
realistically that's the one that like hasn't got any reviews yet, so it still could be fantastic. Yeah.
Well, let's say something comes out in December that we have no idea about. That's all.
Because the websites are already starting like their way too early predictions of like, well, these directors are directing this, so they could be good.
So what I'm saying is, until that competition comes that we perceive to be competition,
that's very lazy to say. Well, yeah. Like I said, it's like
all I can do is what I know, and what I know is as of March,
but not much. We don't know much.
No, you're right. It's only 3 months. But what I do know is if it ended in March, it's no question the Black Panther's has to have to take its name out.
Yes.
In April, for some reason, in April we could get 10 better movies than and be like, shit.
Yeah. So I think our point is this: Black Panther is the movie to beat, but it's not playing anyone yet.
No. That's
a fair
argument.
That's the middle of the argument.
I think
it is the movie to beat. Mm-hmm. It has not played anyone yet.
Sure.
But it's like going into the season being Alabama #1.
That's what I was trying to equate it to. It's like being a preseason. They're the preseason number 1 right now.
They lost twice. Like it happens. They won the championship.
Does that when they win? You're right.
But
does
like
that
they haven't played anyone yet. But someone's got to be ranked number 1.
They're the preseason number 1.
So
somebody needs to
into
stick with them.
Black Panther is the only movie that's come out so far that we're like, that has a chance.
It's on the tracker. It's a preseason number 1.
Show me something else.
But it could get smacked in the face 2 months into the season.
Look at a lot of movies. A lot of movies get smacked.
That's what I'm saying.
Man.
I'm not saying it's gonna.
If we're doing our guesses now, to me it doesn't make top 10.
And I think that's fair. If I'm making my guess right now, I think it literally gets in at 9 or 10.
I could see it, but I wouldn't surprise me.
But what I'm saying is, it's that far ahead right now, where we're in March and it's already that.
But what about my point of like, if Avengers come out, it's better. Does Avengers take their spot? Because you're not going to put both. They both never make it.
No, if a superhero movie comes out...
Like, is Avengers that good where they're like, okay, sorry, Black Panther, I know you're important.
But let's put it to this way. If Deadpool 2 comes out and it's like the Get Out of comic book movies...
It's a comedy. They won't give it to it.
But what I'm saying is, like, it doesn't have to be...
we're going to talk about some comedies get so... Not only do superhero movies get underloved, comedies get... Girls Trip, that was amazing. I saw it. I saw it on the cable. It's amazing.
Hangover 1 probably could have got... If there was 10 nominees, probably got it.
There's a lot of old comedies like, wow, they could have got it. So that's a whole different subject about, like, if superhero movies don't get love, comedies don't get love.
And here's the thing, too.
Big Sick.
In the court of public opinion, I think most people will say, like, yeah, Black Panther should be. I loved it. But, like, we obviously know in the film, like, deep in the community, like, it's not going to take long for movies to start coming out where we're like, oh, man, like, okay, like, a Wind River comes out and you're like, all right.
I could see Ryan Coogler getting a nod before the movie gets a nod.
That's very interesting. Okay.
I could see that happening more.
Does Ryan... let's put you on that bet. Does Ryan Coogler get an Oscar nod, or does the movie do? If you had to put a better percentage, which one has a better percentage?
Coogler.
Okay.
Because I think the movie definitely is very Marvel at some point.
Very interesting.
Looking back at it,
I'm not mad at it.
I've watched it bootleg.
I'm not mad at you about that.
You can cut out about 30 minutes of it,
and
it'll be perfect.
I'm not going to sit here and say that your opinion is wrong. What I'm saying is, in my perspective, is I think as of right now it's on this. But you know what? You're 100% right. Like.
Man,
Wind River could come out and like
way too early prediction.
like anything can happen.
Tomorrow they can announce Quentin Tarantino's movie's coming out this year about Charles Manson.
The Charles Manson movie.
We have a Ted Bundy movie. Like they're gonna be like, we have a Queen Elizabeth movie coming out in October starring Meryl Streep. We're like, oh God,
so
damn it.
It's obviously fun conversation in
it's
March,
totally fun. But it's like we haven't even heard about like the
Yeah,
movies. Like we're just hearing about like movies that were in production last year that no one's because again. Half these movies this year we didn't hear about till it came out, until it hit the shows, until it hit the festivals.
But this is the conversation a lot of people have outside of the community of which like, oh, I didn't see that movie, so it's not good, or it didn't make a lot of money, it's not good.
Or exactly,
yeah, it's like no, Black Panther's a great movie. Does that mean it's going to be one of the top 10 films at the end?
And I think that's where we eventually it's going to come down for the Oscars. Like, where's that middle? Is Black Panther that middle of like you can be a blockbuster but socially relevant?
I mean, think about it. Like,
when is it going to happen?
I thought Baby Driver was a shoo-in as a top 10.
There was a lot of movies you thought were
I thought it was a
Baby Driver, Wind River, Logan. What was the other one? Detroit.
It was an
Detroit
early
was
year.
supposed to be a great. So, it wasn't that good, but
like it was an early year. Mudbound came out early in Netflix.
Oh my God! I thought, like I said, so going back to our previous statement, like way back weeks ago, we agreed Logan probably shouldn't have got that nod because we just named 12 other movies that are better.
Or in the conversation of you could say they're better.
Like
at the very least.
You know what, Logan
to
got,
you they might be better.
Logan,
but like
Logan got the nod it deserved.
Yeah.
That was good enough.
Yeah.
Let's get started.
We're already an hour deep into this. We've kind of dissected everything like major in the Oscars. We've gone ahead and talked about these crazy new release dates. We even had for some reason a conversation of if Black Panther's
way too early prediction
of Black Panther being an Academy Award nominee. But all in all, like it was a fun weekend.
I have one more piece of news. People, my brother Michael, we had a bet. We were going to end on this. We're going to end the show on this. My brother Mike owes me because he had bet me. Because we were watching, was it the Super Bowl maybe or a playoff game or something?
American Idol.
And the American Idol trade, I'm like, Mike,
it was
no
Christmas.
one cares. He's like, dude,
it came out
cares.
yesterday.
And guess what? It's getting shit reviews, low viewership. So I am right. I don't know what he's going to pay me.
But it's also dumb. Why are you going against literally blind auditions of The Voice?
No one cares. All they did was Disneyfy it with not as fun people to watch without Simon Cowell. Like, exactly.
We'll see if it
people are over it. You were wrong. I don't know why you thought American Idol was going to be big 20 years later. It's not.
We'll see.
I win. I know everything.
I mean, I think ABC kind of screwed
When
themselves
in doubt,
with the whole Bachelor
Mark it out,
thing.
y'all.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to us on another episode of The Good Brothers. Let us know. What do you think? Is it too early? Obviously, it is to talk about Oscars, but can you see Black Panther getting into it at the very end of this season? Do you think Alex, should have stayed in Texas and made us all a little bit happier? Anything you guys want to, we're on Facebook, like us at Mercado Airwaves. We're on iTunes, subscribe to us, itunes.com/Mercado Airwaves. We're also on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Mercado Airwaves. Every single one of our shows and interviews here on the network is brought to you by our amazing producers over at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. If you have a brand you would like to bring out to a huge, diverse group of audience, visit us, patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Be part of the conversation, youtube.com/MikeMercado2333. And check us out behind the scenes on Instagram, instagram.com/MikeMercado2333. For the good brother himself, Alex Mercado, I'm Mike Mercado. Any last words for the fine people?
No, but be on the lookout. We have something new coming out.
Oh, that's what you call a tease. We do have something really cool coming down on the network. We will keep you posted when everything is done and ready to go. Please, all I could say is...
Two worlds collide.
Rival nations, please pray for me. God help me for what we're about to do. I'm going to need all the support you all could send us. Thank you so much. We will see you next week on The Good Brothers here on Mercado Airwaves.
If you would like to support Mercado Airwaves, visit us at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Find us on iTunes at Mercado Airwaves. Keep up to date with the show on Facebook at Mercado Airwaves. You can follow Alex on Twitter at Mercado21Alex. Follow Mike on Twitter at mmercado2333 and on Instagram, MikeMercado2333. Mercado Airwaves is brought to you by supporters at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. Thanks for joining us here on The Good Brothers, here on Mercado Airwaves.